The family of Tyre Nichols alongside attorney Ben Crump speaking here after 5 former officers from Memphis were charged today with federal civil rights violations and the beating death of Nichols as they continue to fight second-degree murder charges in state courts arising from the killing. Let's listen in here to this update from Tyre Nichols' family and his attorneys.
Petition that your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So we lift up this family. We call forth your power and your presence in this place. Let the words of our mouth, the meditations of our heart be acceptable in your sight. We believe in justice. We believe in truth. We believe that your name will be glorified in the midst of all of this. So have your way in this place. Let justice roll down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream. In the name of all things holy and in the strong name of a loving, living, and liberating black Messiah, Jesus the Christ, we say with power, ashe, and amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Reverend Fisher. I'm attorney Ben Crump, and along with attorney Antonio Ramanucci and a great team of lawyers that includes Memphis's own former judge Ernestine Doyce, as well as attorney David Mendelson and attorney Benjamin Wachtel. We have the distinguished honor of representing the family of Tyre Nichols. Present with us today is his mother and father, Rovon and Rodney Wells, who will express themselves momentarily on such a monumental day for justice. We were notified this morning, mid-morning, by the head of the Civil Rights Division, Kristen Clark, that the grand jury had ratified the charges, the federal charges, against the 5 police officers that have been charged with murder on the state level. She notified us that they had been charged with the federal charges of excessive force as well as conspiracy and witness tampering and deliberate indifference. 4 charges that could sentence them to life and beyond possibly. And we just want to pause to say thank you to the grand jury for affirming what we already knew in our hearts, that these police officers brutally killed Tyre Nichols, and it was unjustified, it was unnecessary, and it was unconstitutional. The grand jury affirmed that for us today here in Memphis, Tennessee, and we're so grateful for all of them doing their civic duties. We are equally grateful to Attorney General Merrick Garland, who Judge Doyce, I believe, is one of the most effective attorney generals in the history of civil rights in America, if not the most effective. I put his administration on the same level with Robert Kennedy. When you think about what him and civil rights head at the Department of Justice, Kristen Clark, who is the embodiment of what a civil rights director should be, always fighting for equal justice and due process and fairness. when you think about what they have done in their administration and trying to demonstrate that it's about equal justice for all citizens. They charged the officers who killed George Floyd with federal charges. They charged and got convictions. They charged the quasi-retired law enforcement father who killed Ahmaud Arbery for jogging while black and got convictions. And they made history by charging the officers who killed Breonna Taylor. And as we understand, it's the first time in the history that there have been federal charges against police officers for killing a black woman in the United States of America. So we are very thankful to Attorney General Garland and his entire Department of Justice, especially on behalf of Rovon Wells and Rodney Wells and the family of Tyre Nichols today. And the last thing I will say, before you hear from Tyre's mother and father, is that it is our hope with not only the charges that were brought against these 5 officers, but also with the pattern and practice investigation, that we can see a change in the policing here in Memphis, Tennessee, because we know Tyre was not the only young black man killed unnecessarily and unjustifiably here in Memphis. And so they are looking at the entire department to hopefully prevent any more of our loved ones being killed unjustly. Aren't y'all tired of seeing our young black men killed unjustly in Memphis and other cities around the world? I mean, how many more videos do we have to see? So if anything, we are so hopeful that today will send a chilling effect on police officers across America, that not only are you going to be under review by the state, but Merrick Garland and the Biden administration have sent the warning and set a precedent that the federal government is going to defend the civil rights for all American citizens against anybody, whether they're wearing a badge or not. It's about equal justice. And so we're very thankful to the Attorney General, Merrick Garland and Christian Clark, and the grand jury. We have renewed hope today for Tyre to get justice and for so many others across America. At this time, you'll hear from a lady who has always believed in her heart that something good was going to happen from this tragedy. And this is but another step towards that justice, and more importantly, something good happening from this tragedy. She was recognized by so many people, deservingly so, because she has inspired us all. Ms. Rovon Wells and Mr. Rodney Wells, the parents of Tyre Nichols.
Good evening. We'd just like to say that on behalf of my family and I, we'd like to thank everyone that was involved in the indictment of those police officers today. It was a surprise to us that it happened so quickly, but we're very thankful that it did. As I've mentioned before, you know, Ty, he was just a free spirit, and he really should be here today. Tyre shouldn't be gone. He should be here today. And because of those 5 police officers, he's not. This is something that I'm going to have to deal with for the rest of my life, that I will not have my son. But if my son had to leave this earth in this manner, I'm hoping it was for the greater good.
Amen.
Because at the end of the day, again, Tyrese should still be here. Again, I want to thank everyone, the Assistant Attorney General, the Attorney General, and the people here in Tennessee for working so diligently to get those charges put upon those 5 officers. And all I have to say is thank you. Thank you.
Amen. Mr. Wells?
All right, listening in here to the family of Tyre Nichols alongside Ben Crump, their attorney, as 5 former Memphis police officers were charged today with federal civil rights violations in the beating death of Tyre Nichols as they continue to fight second-degree murder charges in state courts arising from the killing. Now, those charges come 9 months after the violent beating during a January 7th traffic stop near Nichols's Memphis home, in which they punched and kicked the 29-year-old with a baton as he yelled for his mom. It was heartbreaking video. He then died at a hospital 3 days later. Those 5 former officers have pleaded not guilty to state charges of second-degree murder and other alleged offenses in the case. So hearing here from the family in Memphis. Let's step away for a quick commercial break here. Much more to come. We'll be back right after this.